Let's get into it. So I got a couple batches of articles for y'all. Somebody in the chat said, are we going to talk about the Wukong? Shout out to Cray with the sub. I appreciate you. We've got an update on the Game Awards. A lot of drama going on. Before we get into it, friendly reminder, I'm giving away a Steam Deck in the month of December 2024. Let me drop the link in the chat. It'll be pinned to the top of the chat if you want to enter the giveaway. Please read the instructions. Let's say giveaway. Enter the giveaway. Let's pin that to the top. Boom. There you go. Follow the instructions. That's all I gotta say. If you're watching on YouTube, the link will be in the description box below. All right, let's talk Game Awards. For those unaware, the Game Awards was last week. We had a lot of crazy announcements. A lot of people winning, a lot of people losing.
Cool, but honestly, there's only one ideology.
Yo, shout out to Rody Plays with the sub, appreciate it. And for those who missed it, the game that won Game of the Year was not Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It wasn't Metaphor Refantasio, the game I thought should have won. It wasn't Shadow of the Erd Tree. It wasn't Black Myth Wukong. It was Astrobot. And for people who don't play games, they were shocked. They were a certain section of the internet, they couldn't believe that a platformer could win a Game of the Year. Because unfortunately, gaming has been invaded by a lot of people, almost like it's been invaded by the jocks who used to make fun of gamers. It's been invaded by people who think that a real video game can only be sports, a shooter, or a story-driven, over-the-shoulder, third-person, PlayStation exclusive. Those type of games. If it's not that, it doesn't deserve Game of the Year. Even though Mario, listen, if it wasn't for Mario, you wouldn't have had your Last of Us. You wouldn't have got your Gears of War. You wouldn't have gotten Horizon Zero Dawn and also the Lego version. Mario in the early 90s saved the home console market. The arcades were still okay, although the arcades were gonna leave. They were gonna self-destruct eventually because it was just a, a tire genre. But Super Mario saved the home console. So the disrespect for platformers is crazy to me for some of y'all. Some of y'all are fucking frauds, man. If you've never played one, please play Astrobot. It won Game of the Year. They're just silly, fun games with great music where you get to explore, take your time. And I'm not even mad Astrobot won. It's a game that I think the culture, I wanted Metaphor to win, but I think Astrobot needed to win for the culture, to remind people that games are supposed to be fun, guys. You're supposed to come home from work and relax. Everything doesn't need to be some fake ass Oscar bait ass video game, okay? But one person didn't get that message, and that person is the CEO of Game Science. Now, who's Game Science? Game Science is the studio behind Black Myth Wukong. And apparently a statement was released to the public by the CEO where he was very hurt that he lost. He said a lot of things. Yo, shout out to DJ Carr with the sub. He said a lot of things, but the thing that captivated everybody is this particular quote. The games nominated this year were all excellent, but I really didn't understand the criteria for this year's Game of the Year. Felt like I came here for nothing. Ultimately, we took home Best Action Game and Player's Voice, especially winning Player's Voice was gratifying. Basically insinuating because we won Player's Choice, we should probably win Game of the Year. Like, what's the criteria to win Game of the Year? It's a lot of different things. And some people got butthurt because I said on Twitter, it went viral. Last I checked, it had like 10,000 likes. Some people got butthurt because I said Black Myth Wukong was never going to win Game of the Year. I don't even think it should have been nominated. If you want to argue for it, I'll let you argue for it. I'm not going to argue against it. But in my opinion, I don't even think it should have been nominated. But it's there, right? Even though it's there, it is objectively the worst game nominated in probably the last, not even this year, the last probably 5 years. The lowest rated Metacritic score. And why is it objectively the worst game out of every game nominated? Let's take a look. Game of the Year 2024. I'm gonna tell you why. Because some people, like, I saw a tweet earlier today and it was a teacher and she was saying that, like, yo, kids in high school and middle school, it's really depressing being a teacher because they cannot critically think, they can't comprehend. A lot of people don't, I'm learning from that tweet, a lot of people don't know what objectively means. That shit is not objective, it's subjective. No. I'm gonna teach you guys what the difference is, and I'm gonna explain to you why Wukong was objectively the worst game nominated for Game of the Year. The nominations included Astrobot, Belantro. Why the fuck is Concord there? What the fuck? That is not the, let me go. Black Myth, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantasio. Now, why is Black Myth Wukong objectively the worst game nominated for Game of the Year in 2024? Because out of the 6 games nominated, this one runs like complete dog shit. If this game ran buttery smooth, then you could argue it's subjective. But there is something objectively worse about this game in comparison to all of them. That's not how I feel. And if you can't comprehend that, we've got to invest more in education, guys. Belantro runs well. Although it's probably the simplest game, it better run well. Yo, shout out to the Knight with the 5 gifted subs. Appreciate it. Belantro runs well, buttery smooth. Final Fantasy Rebirth runs well, especially if you put it on
from your phone, then it's a problem.
If you put it on performance mode. Metaphor runs buttery smooth. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, it runs good, I'd say 90% of the time. When you got to that second boss fight, the moon chick, you were dropping frames, but for the most part, it ran well. And that was on my old PC. I know on his new PC, it would body it.
Now I can afford a
This game damn near blew up my PS5 like 5 separate times. And then there's people on social media, it didn't happen to me. It was in every review. Damn near everybody who played it. Just because it didn't happen to you didn't mean it's not a thing. It almost blew up PS5s across the nation, across the world. It almost forced people back into the PS4 era. Screen tearing, frame drops, invisible walls. It was optimized like dog shit. And this is the Game of the Year. It shouldn't have been nominated, in my opinion. It blue screen for a lot of people on PC, and because of that that's an objective thing that you can judge. After that, then it becomes subjective. When we're talking about the story, the character, the combat, that's all subjective. If we're talking about the game on a functional level, you can objectively judge that. And this was the worst optimized game on the list. It was never winning Game of the Year. I'd argue it shouldn't even have been there. Stellar Blade could have took its spot. Space Marines could have took its spot. Zelda Echoes of the Wisdom could have took its spot. And you know what the crazy part is? This wouldn't have won Game of the Year this year. It wouldn't have damn for sure won last year with Baldur's Gate 3. And next year when Grand Theft Auto 6 and that new Doom and all them other games coming out, it ain't winning next year if it came out. We could go back 3 more years. It ain't winning nothing. Y'all don't play games. If this is your personal favorite game of the year, that's fine. But let's be for real. Be for real. So I think my personal biggest takeaway from this situation is a lot of people didn't know what the word objective means. Anyways, he was surprised. Apparently there was rumors going around that the Black Myth Wukong developers were so hurt they were crying and they stormed off. And to reinforce this story, we got Alana Pierce, who works for she did work for Sony Santa Monica. She worked on Ragnarok. She was in the crowd. Listen to what she has to say.
In the front row this year. It's my first time being in the front row. I was like, wow, thanks, Jeff. Great seats. But being in the front row means that you can see all of the actually important people. So like next to me was the whole Sony team. Frankly, that's probably why they put me there, was because when they gave me that seat, I was with Sony. So I was with the Sony publishing team. Behind me was Joseph Faris. Just behind him was Sam Lake, both of whom I know and am very fond of. They're both really great dudes. But I could see all of the nominees and awards winners, and the Black Myth Wukong team, I don't know which person on the team, was crying when Astrobot got Game of the Year. Because you could see him just looking down the line, which is the first time I've ever seen anything like that, because generally everyone is like, Game Awards doesn't matter that much. But yeah, the Wukong team were crying when they did not win.
And look, there's nothing wrong with crying. Like, they really wanted to win, and I understand that. But you got to understand, when you say, why the fuck did I come here? If you would have played the other, all they had to do was spend an hour or two on each entry, and you would have understand you were never going to win Game of the Year. If you would have played and tried the other games, you would have understood why they were all nominated and why you could possibly lose. But there's nothing wrong with crying and being upset. But saying that, oh, why did we come here? This is a waste of time. You got to be amongst your peers. You got to network. Also, being nominated is a blessing in itself. When you get nominated for Game of the Year, that's going to boost your sales up. Also, it's your first game ever, and you got nominated for Game of the Year. A debatable nomination, but you did. Which means that your first game that you guys ever made was pretty good, but you lost. So that also means there's room for improvement, and there's nothing wrong with that. You want to come play on the world stage, you better be ready to bat. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They had the whole China on their back, though. What that got to do with anything? The Game Awards is about games as a whole. It's not about China. Can I put on my tinfoil hat real quick? I have some tinfoil theories, but I'm not going to say them because I feel like I know where you're going to go with them. I'm not going to go out. I have a reason. I have an actual reason why I think it got nominated, but I'm not going to go there. Let's just say, like, yo, chill. Fucking chill, bruh. We'll see you at the next Game Award when your next game come out. At least you're not Concord, guys. At least you're not Concord. TBH versus the CCP. Yo, chill. Anyways, so that was
Baldur's
the drama
Gate 3
surrounding
is
the
getting
Game Awards, right? And it got so bad. I found this video on my For You page. Apparently, Black Myth fans are so mad. They're now review bombing Baldur's Gate 3, last year's Game of the Year award. These niggas is mad at Astrobot and Baldur's Gate. Make it make sense.
Baldur's Gate 3 is getting review bombed on Steam due to Sven Vinker's speech at the Game Awards. That's right, hundreds of negative reviews have appeared, allegedly from butthurt Wukong fans. Gamers and indeed the developers of Black Myth Wukong were upset that despite the game selling really well, the title lost the Game of the Year award to Astrobot, a game that only just hit 1.5 million sales. Larry and Sven's speech ahead of announcing the winner was critical of companies favouring profit margins over focusing on creating an actually good game.
They understood the value of respect, that if they treated their developers and players well, those same developers and players would forgive them when things didn't go as planned.
And reviews have appeared on the Baldur's Gate 3 Steam page since, saying things like, if developers don't need to care for sales or reviews, please don't mind my negative review.
What the fuck did Baldur's Gate 3? Hey, yo, I seen somebody in the chat say it earlier too, and I can't agree more. Yo, whether you, cause like, I'm just yapping. I don't want anybody to think that I actually care this much. I'm just yapping for the content. But at the end of the day, you guys can't let these award shows dictate how you feel. If you feel like Black Myth Wukong should have won Game of the Year, that's fine. But don't let people who disagree with you stop you from having fun. Stop going to other games pages and review bombing. You're review bombing a game that won Game of the Year last year. And you know, the funny thing is, what's the point of even going to that page? Because Baldur's Gate 3 would have blew you out the fucking water. If there was a year for you to win, which I don't think you would have won this year, because you didn't, it would have been this year. This is probably like the best year because it was a little bit weaker. But BG3 would have blew you out the fucking water, bro. Get out of here with this shit. They just looking for a reason to hate. But at the end of the day, it's just opinions. Enjoy the game. What is this bootleg ass fucking NBA 2K? What am I looking at? It's all just award shows. It's meant to be entertaining.
Scarecrow's fear talks. Your donation will be used responsible.
Yo, shout out to Big Neezy for the super chat, and shout out to Coolio for the 25 gifted subs. I appreciate you.
4 little boys in the Batcave.
I appreciate you. Y'all going crazy with the super chats and the gifted subs. I appreciate you. Shout out to the YouTube chat. Hit the like button if you're on YouTube. Am I allowed to enter the giveaway more than once? No, because that don't make no sense. All right, what else I got for y'all? He's talking about the 4 little boys in the Batcave. Batman. The notifications went off at the same time. I can't stop that from happening. That was just bad luck. But I appreciate the 25 get the subs. Some more drama coming out of the Game Awards was the intergalactic game that got announced. For those who missed the Game Awards, Naughty Dog announced their brand new I think it's an action adventure game. It's a space game. It's called Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. I think that name is way too long. You probably should just call it Intergalactic. Or the Heretic Prophet, like, the name is fucking long as shit. They were calling it woke, da-da-da-da-da-da. People were downvoting it because there was a woman in the game. I like the music. I like space shit. I need to see some gameplay. I'm not all in on this. I'm in the middle on it. I got to see some gameplay before I'm all in. And the reason is, what up, Kaio? The reason I'm kind of 50-50 on this game is, to be fair, and I'm about to piss some people off, but I really don't give a fuck. Naughty Dog's been making the same game for like the last 15 years. You got Nathan Drake's Adventures, and then you got The Last of Us, and the only difference is really the characters, and then one has zombies. But like in terms of gameplay, it's the same shit. It's a fucking third-person cover shooter. They've been making the same game for the last 15 years.
Since
so
super
like
chats
I'm a
are
little
just a known
worried.
form of glazing, that means for every donation TBH gets, I get the chance to glaze. I mean, gaze into Sonic's dreamy green eyes.
Yo, shout out to Bryce with the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. Keep giving that support. I appreciate you. Shout out to the YouTube chat. But yeah, they've been making the same game for like the last 15 years with minor differences. So I'm a little bit worried about, are they creatively stifled? Because I would hate for this game to be another generic third-person cover shooter. I would be pissed off when they revealed, I want to say pissed off, I would be disappointed if they revealed the gameplay and it's basically The Last of Us in space. It's Uncharted in space. Oh God, another generic third-person cover shooter, but this time you playing a bald-headed chick in space. So I hope that they find some way to create some refreshing new gameplay loops, because I feel like creatively they've been a little bankrupt, milking The Last of Us for goddamn Abby in space. Yeah, I don't want to see that. I want to see them really push some boundaries. And to be 100% fair to Naughty Dog, I think they have the talent to do it. I just want them to act on it. I'm giving them some words of encouragement. You know it's going to be exactly like that. Stop saying that.
Follow, buddy.
But anyways,
Not as annoying as me.
I'm hoping for the best, but I'm still 50-50. We need to see some gameplay. We got some new details from Neil Druckmann, which is the head of Naughty Dog Studios. And he says in a quote to the New York Times, the story is quite ambitious as it centers around a fictitious religion and what happens when you put faith in different institutions. That right there got me interested. This is looking like Scientology, the video game. And the final boss is probably going to be fucking Tom Cruise. It's either going to be Tom Cruise in an airplane and you're going to have to fight him in space, or it's going to be Tom Cruise on Oprah's couch and you're going to have to knock him off the couch or something like that. But either way, it's going to be some weird Scientology cult-like shit. I think at bare minimum, that sounds like an interesting story. Taking down and slaying a cult of some sort, probably. Now I'd be pissed because they could have given us Jack. I feel that. I'm at peace with it. After this announcement, I don't think we'll ever get Jack 4. Naughty Dog has seen so much success with these over-the-shoulder, third-person cinematic video games. They're gonna keep making them.
Rough out here.
That's what PlayStation fans like.
Nigga for that, my nigga.
Shout out to Black Panda with the sub. Appreciate it. He's a Scientologist. You didn't know that? Tom Cruise is the premier. That's the only reason I even know what Scientology is. I have a funny Scientology story. I remember when I was in high school, I was coming out the mall, I was getting something to eat, and there was a Scientologist with a booth. And it had a big Scientology poster, and they were selling books trying to get people in. And they pulled me to the side, and this dude, weird as shit, bro. Like, Scientologists are like the original Discord kittens. Them niggas is weird. He pulls me to the side, and he's like, hey, man. He's like, you have anything going on bad in your life? I said, I'm a troll. I said, how did you know? Oh my God. Because I read the poster, I knew what it was. He was like, I could tell. He's like, you got a lot of energy around you. Is there something you want to do about that? Because there's this thing called Scientology. I said, oh, word, what's that? I said, tell me more. See, with this book right here, and if you join the Church of Scientology, we use science and magic like fucking Dr. Strange and the Aya Agamotto, so you can learn how to relieve all your problems, and you'll be part of an Illuminati group of elite people. I said, wow. I said, how much is your book? He said, $50, and I can take you to the church. I said, let me see that book. I grabbed the book, and then I threw it on the table and ran away. That's a true story, by the way. Yeah, yo, shout out to M Beats with this. Wow.
The idea of Shadow having
Shut your bitch ass up, bro. Definitely, yeah, that shit is a cult. So that sounds like a damn pyramid scheme. It is. It's some type of weird shit. Did you get an apple of Eden? Right. You'll get a free apple of Eden. Wow. Get your bitch ass on, dude. Oh, and more positive news in regards to the Game Awards. A nigga I have muted because I don't be like seeing them on my timeline, but anytime somebody posts a screenshot and it pertains to the conversation, I'll bring it up. But the leader of the Go Woke, Go Broke crowd has been exposed once again. Grums. This guy sits on fucking social media all day calling everything woke and every game trash. So I had to mute this nigga because I got tired of seeing him on my fucking For You page because Elon fucked up the algorithm. But something funny came across my timeline, and it was him being exposed. Now, I've been saying this for the longest. These Go Woke people are fucking grifters and frauds that don't play video games, because if you really hated woke shit, you would have hated Metaphor. That whole game is woke by your definition, but y'all didn't play it, so you didn't know. So I said, I've been trying to tell people, yo, Start giving pushback on these people that are pushing these narratives, man. Matter of fact, I seen a video. Let me see if I can find this shit. Y'all think I'm playing. I think I posted it on Blue Sky. I never hit it mute on a goddamn account so much, so goddamn fast. Let me see media. Where's that shit at? Just how fraudulent these niggas are, right? This video hit my damn sub box. Not my sub. I am not sub to this nigga. This video hit my my algorithm. So here's a 2-page story. And I hit don't recommend. Please don't show me this shit again. This video hit my algorithm. The title is Marvel Rivals has broken the woke agenda in gaming. And in the video, he's trying to say Marvel Rivals proves nobody wants woke video games. Nigga, this is how you know that they be just fucking yapping. How are you gonna say Marvel Rivals is not woke by your definition, and then you put an X-Men? You put an X-Men in the thumbnail. The X-Men is woke by your definition. And this is one thing that I've learned recently, because we know how we talk about how the average reading level in the United States is 7th to 8th grade, meaning people can't comprehend. I think that comprehension also translates to media literacy as well, meaning a lot of people just watch shit and it just goes over their head. The entire premise of the X-Men is about equality. It's a group of mutants that are being discriminated against, and you have one faction who's trying to be peaceful protesters while help the world, and then you have another that's like, get the fuck out the way, we are superior. But either way, they're fighting for the same thing, just going about it different ways. Also, ain't this nigga like bisexual or some shit like that? These niggas on the internet are fucking idiots, bruh. I was like, bro, get this shit the fuck out my goddamn face, bruh. And this shit is getting tired. People say anything to get paid. Please start hitting don't recommend on these channels. Just yapping. See, Marvel Rivals is not woke. The X-Men is woke by your guys' definition. Anyways, get this shit out of here. This nigga got exposed, the leader of this goddamn group. Somebody had asked him after Black Myth Wukong won Game of the Year. And just to give you guys context, this man has spent the last year promoting Black Myth Wukong, saying that it's one of the best games of the year because it's not woke. It's made by an Eastern studio that's not influenced by Western culture, right? So this guy asked him after the Game Awards, have you tried Black Myth Wukong yet? It's Game of the Year material. This man says, not yet. I'm playing Indiana Jones. First of all, I don't think you're playing Indiana Jones. You played Indiana Jones before Black Myth Wukong? So he's on the internet. What I'm trying to get at is this man just sits on the internet and yaps. He doesn't play any of these games, and they all do this shit. If you start reading between the lines, you'll see these people are frauds, and it's time to tell them shut the fuck up. I need everybody to start blocking these people, mute them. I've been asking people to name 5 games they played this year, and I can never get an answer. And they be the most invested people in the Game of the Year. That can't win Game of the Silent Hill can't win game. Did you play it? What the fuck are you talking about?